You are tuning in to the most informed show on the internet. The Above Limits podcast is an expression of logical thought put into physical form. Subscribing to our channel is the biggest support you can give. Positive vibes and understanding found here. Olympus Mons, your host, is ready to welcome you to the show. Thank you for listening, and now, enjoy the Above Limits podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Above Limits podcast. I am Olympus Mons. Today in the news, we have a migrant caravan, which when I first heard it, we have a migrant caravan coming to the U.S. Brain fart. Anyways, when I first heard about it, Donald Trump, mentioned something. They got a caravan, and that was the sound clip of the day. Basically to explain, this threat coming to the United States. And I didn't really think much of it until there was actually footage of this caravan, and it's thousands of people marching all the way from Honduras to the United States of America. And it isn't funny. Whether they are a threat or they are not a threat, they're people trying to seek asylum. It is definitely the hot topic of the day, as we have in our news cycles, hot topics of the day. And that's pretty much all I cover is these hot topics. So, it's every day something new. Some way the president of the United States is such a terrible man, and messing with the weaker person, the big bully. But the mainstream media, the leftist media, the alphabet media, they're saying that that fear tactics are being used by the president and people that agree with the president. I state that, okay, it's one thing to be like, oh, there's a caravan of immigrants coming, and it be, taking a lackadaisical approach to the idea of people. Like one could think, okay, well, a caravan, it's like one vehicle with like 20 migrants, and there's your caravan. I don't know. But the reality is it's thousands of human beings desperate to flee whatever situation they're in to come to this country, and to demand that we as Americans let them in, and our government let them in with all rights and privileges of asylum seekers, and in the end they will become citizens of this nation. And we're talking about one of the most brutal and violent countries these people are coming from across all across the world. I mean, it's very violent in Honduras. And one thing, my opinion to give it, when you're talking about, how drugs are brought over to the country, like they're brought over in any means necessary, any means possible, so what I mean by that is, like, if you've ever watched movies on cartels and stuff like that, like Pablo Escobar, El Chapo, whatever, they're always like hiding. They're always trying to figure out a way to put drugs so they can smuggle it across, to make whatever shipment they're shipping it with to look legit. Like they'll take a compressor and press down cocaine and then put them underneath the soles of the shoes, or where the sole and the actual leather part meet, but it looks like a shoe, but there's actually the only thing they really want is the cocaine that's in it. Or they'll put it in pickle jars, or with olives, and it's a way to mask detection. So I'm not saying every single person in that caravan is a criminal or is a violent person. What I could say, though, is that if you were in a criminal organization and you needed logistics in the United States, you needed a way to get over there, you might send a couple, maybe not a couple, a lot of your soldiers mixed in with these people, and just say that you're asylum seekers. And then once you're in the country, you figure out the logistical plan of how to help benefit this organized crime wave. That's an opinion. It's far-fetched. I cannot prove it. But if based on the idea I presented of how you smuggle drugs and try to not get detected for drug smuggling, or if you wanted to have logistics in the United States, that could be a way that you could get your soldiers into our country. So, one thing about this leftist media is they're going to constantly, now that the cat's out the bag, that there is a parade of thousands of people coming into our country. I don't even know how many thousands. I mean, some people say it's 3,000. I don't know if it's 3,000. It could be 10,000. It could be 20,000. It could be 100,000. I don't know how many people are coming. Okay. And the leftist media is going to play on your emotions. Okay. They're going to state that these people, we had asylum laws, right? That these people are trying to escape violence and the death that awaits them in their country, which is it exists. Okay, nobody's saying it doesn't exist, but our country, we're automatically have to let them in because because of our laws. They come because of the law that says that we will help them if they are trying to escape that. And to me, I'm like, okay, well, how long has this law been in place? I mean, I think it's been since way before the 80s. So we're almost 30 years of people using this protection to get into our country, but there has been no attempt for those people to rise up as Americans did a long time ago and fight for their freedoms, fight for the end of their oppression, which they are doing that. But there's no success. They're on the losing battle. But if it was such a worthy cause and people were wanting to really deal with the situation, then the United States, the United Nations, and everybody would go to fight for these people alongside with them. Find out how to set up a legitimate government that can police itself, that can end the corruption, could end the violence, and make that country into the best thing that they could be, through the exporting of their goods and services that they provide for the world, coffee or whatever export they have. But, the leftist media they're going to play on your emotions, right? They're going to tell you these people are trying to escape, and look at them. They're without water. Their children are hungry. They're dying, on this travel to the United States is very dangerous, and these people are dying. But nobody wants to do the hard part of fighting for these people's freedom, the thing that they have to do is to exterminate these bad people in their country so these people can be in their country at peace. And when let's think of it like this, okay? When the Civil War happened, the South was policed by the North, by soldiers. Okay, so anytime there was any talk, like say you went to a bar or saloon or whatever, and there was talk of like insurrection, that we need to rise up again against the North, soldiers were there to be like, no, you lost. And if you don't shut up, we're going to F you up, you know? So that's kind of like the same thing. So you have these bad people in Honduras that are manipulating these people, oppressing the citizens, you know, killing them, torturing them, you know, raping, pillaging them. Okay. When you have a legitimate government and you squash all those bad people, you exterminate them. And then when a new one wants to rise up and replace the old one, you have a government still there to be like, no, we're done with that. You know what I mean? But all this takes time. All this isn't done overnight. All this is a continuing thing that you have to do on a daily basis, on a yearly basis, and see to the end when you finally have a society that you want with no violence, no intimidation, no torture, no rape and pillaging, and your people can be what they were always meant to be in their country. Okay? Now, when you see children that are hungry, that are lying on the ground with nothing to eat and making this long journey, I think I heard Van Jones where he said, well, he doesn't care. People that follow Trump, they don't care about those people. Okay, well, I'm a person that follows Trump, okay, that believes in Trump, and I care. I mean, that plays on my emotions. But one thing I know about the world is a bad place. The world is volatile. The world is not always the nicest place to be at. A lot of the things are backwards on the existence of man. You know, that you do have a war on drugs, that you do have this system that's set up that allows for bad men to reign over that country, because what they do in that country, they bring it to our country. I'm talking about drugs and the drug war, and you know, just the systems we have in place that aren't beneficial to us or to them. You know, so I'm not dumb where I can know the difference and be like, you know, this is something that those people need to take care of. And you have a president who is hard on immigration, who's basically said, we're not going to allow the asylum laws to exist anymore, at least during his presidency, and just demanding that you come to our country, like it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. He's actually saying that he'll send the military out there. Now, if you think that, well, he's gonna start shooting them with machine guns and just mowing all those thousands of people down, you're nuts. That's never gonna happen. But these people, once they get here and they think that they're just gonna fucking mob through the gates and tear down walls, because I mean, when you get thousands of people together, you could actually break through concrete. You know, if they push hard enough, it's been proven that people can break through walls and different things like that if enough thousands of people are there to do it. But if they think when they get here that you know, they're not going to be met with opposition, meaning the military, to capture them, detain them, and send them back to their country after thousands of mile long walk to this country, I mean, they're mistaken, because it's going to happen, and you're going to see it. It's going to be plenty available on the internet for you to watch, and there's nothing wrong with that, because we have the right to enforce our immigration laws and to not allow illegal immigration. And like I said, this is 30 years of these people using this law without them or people with actual armies and ways to get their countries back into order, without them doing that. Because that's the hard part. And that's the thing about leftists, is they want the easiest route to do what they want to do instead of doing the hard thing that's going to take time, that you could lose at. You know, meaning fighting a war for these people. You know, we go fight wars in other countries, in Arab countries, but we won't go fight wars in Honduras to end this corruption and violence in those people's country. It's a just cause, right? Finally bringing freedom to those people. Let's see. I believe in the end that this makes the president look good, because his base is looking at this and going, wow, there's thousands of people just coming to bum rush the United States and to try to get in. I mean, like, people voted Donald Trump in to end this, to try to do something about illegal immigration, and you're seeing it, like, not rampant, but I mean, I've never seen thousands of people marching to demand entrance into our country, you know, and you know, they're workers, they're good people, but you know, I don't know that. I don't know all those people. You don't know all those people. So, with that, let's see. This is Olympus Mons with the Above Limits podcast. If you like this video, the main thing I need is for you to subscribe to the channel and to keep watching the content. If you like this shirt, this is at my store at the AboveLimitsPodcast.com. That's the AboveLimitsPodcast.com. The Illuminati shirt, you can get one of those there. Yeah, guys, subscribe to the channel. Visit the AboveLimitsPodcast.com. There's also the NWO UFO chat room on Tiny Chat. That's tinychat.com/NWO UFO, and we can have more conversations there. This stuff is real, people. I didn't say this. How come Germany, England, France, they're not taking any Hondurans? Why does it have to be the United States? Why can't this be an effort by the UN instead of the effort in the UN demanding that the United States be responsible for these people? Why isn't this a global problem instead of a United States problem? You must question for yourself these things, and then you will find your answers, because nobody is searching for a solution to this problem. It's past the buck. You didn't want to, you're a bad person. United States, you didn't want to help these people. You're that great evil that everybody's always been talking about. And with that, that was the podcast.